Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. We have already learned 4 prepositions: fi, min, ila, and ala. So 4 of them we have learned starting from lesson number 3 and then continued. And now, inshallah, we are going to learn about the preposition which is li. And it is used to give the meaning of belongs to or for. So this is the fifth preposition that we are going to learn, which is li. Now we can see over here, we have a sentence, liman hadhihi. Who is this for? And we know that hadhihi is ismul ishara, that is used for the feminine. And man is used to ask a question. And when we use li with that, liman, that means it becomes a prepositional phrase, which is al-jar wal-majroor. So the translation will be, who is this for, or who does it belong to? So it can be translated in either way, who is this for, or who does it belong to? And we have the next sentence, hadhihi li Khalidin. This is for Khalid, or it belongs to Khalid. So again, here we have the preposition li, and then after that we have Khalid, and we can see that it is majroor. And why it is majroor? Because of the preposition li. This is Khalid's, or it belongs to Khalid. Now something very important over here, very, very important that we need to know, that a prepositional phrase, al-jar wal-majroor, can never be a subject. It can never be a subject. It cannot be mubtadaun. It will always be a predicate, khabarun, even if it comes in the beginning of the sentence. Now, here we can see that liman is in the beginning of the sentence. It is basically in the place of subject or mubtadaun. And hadhihi is in the place of khabarun or predicate. And we will see, and we have seen already, that the place of subject and predicate keeps on changing. And there are certain reasons behind that. Inshallah, we will, when we proceed further, we will come to know about the reasons. But one of the things that we need to know as of now, and very, very important, that al-jar wal-majroor, a prepositional phrase, can never ever be subject or mubtadaun. It will always be predicate. It will always be a khabar. So this point is very, very important. Please note it down, and inshallah, we will repeat it many times, and because it's very, very important information. And inshallah, whenever it comes across, we have to focus on this as well. Hadihi sa'atu aliyin. So we can see that hadihi is the subject, and sa'atu aliyin is the predicate. This is the watch of Ali. Hiya jamilatun jiddan. It is very beautiful. Jiddan means very. So it is very beautiful, as we can see over here. This is a beautiful watch. And hadihi sa'atun aliyin. This is the watch of Ali. Hadihi mil'aqatun. This is a spoon. Wa hadihi qidrun. And this is a cooking pot. Okay, now we have seen so far that a noun that has like the counterpart, female counterpart, the real gender is feminine, the categories are feminine. We have learned that a noun that ends with ta marbuta is feminine. And we have also learned that the human body parts that are in pairs, they are also feminine. But here, qidrun, does it have any of the things that we have learned so far? Qidrun, it's a cooking pot. Does it have a female counterpart? Of course not, because it's a thing, right? Does it end with ta marbuta? Of course not. And is it like a human body part? Of course not. So that means that we have to make a category of the nouns where we will put the nouns that are called miscellaneous nouns, like extra nouns or nouns that belong to no category, and they are feminine. Why they are feminine? Because this is how they are used in the Quran, or this is how they are used by the Arabs. They don't follow any specific reason. They don't have any specific pattern. So that's why we have to put them in the category of miscellaneous nouns, the nouns that belong to. Basically, they don't have any specific category, so we can make a list of the nouns. And inshallah, I will provide you one list as well. Okay, now هذه ملعقة, this is a spoon, وهذه قدر, and this is a cooking pot. Now, please note over here, الملعقة في القدر. The spoon is in the pot, as we can see in the picture. Okay. Now here we have mil'aqatun. It's a indefinite noun, nakira, and qidrun is also nakira, indefinite noun here. But here it becomes, as we can see, al-mil'aqatu, and here it becomes al-qidr. So why do they become definite? What happened over here? What makes them definite? No, it does not contain any grain, aqil, nothing like that. It is just like, you can see that it's a category which belongs to, like, it has its own, so we can make. So the thing that I was asking is like, why we say al-mil'aqatu fil qidri? Now, we know in English, when we say, for example, you say, I have a pen, and then you say, the pen is blue, as we can see over here. I have a pen, the pen is blue. Okay, so when we talk about an indefinite noun for the first time, it will be indefinite. But when we talk about the same noun for the second time, then it becomes definite. Okay, so now look over here. هذه ملعقة وهذه قدر. This is a spoon and this is a cooking pot. Okay, now ملعقة and قدر, we are talking about them for the first time. And the same nouns, when we talk about the same noun for the second time, as we can see over here, then it becomes a definite noun, it becomes marifa. As we have seen here in the English language, that when we say I have a pen, and that means any pen, and it is indefinite noun. But when we talk about it again, then it becomes a definite noun, it becomes marifa. And the same idea we have over here. Is this clear now? Okay, now let's see example from the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الله نور السماوات والأرض. مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح. Now we can see over here, we have misbah. And what is this? It is indefinite. Why do we say it is indefinite? Because it does not have al, and it's not the name of a specific person, place, or thing. Al-misbahu fihi zujaja. Now here, it is used as marifa, definite noun. What happened over here? When it is mentioned for the first time, it is indefinite, it is nakira. But when it is mentioned again for the second time, it becomes marifa, it becomes definite. And then again, zujaja. Now we can see over here that zujaja is indefinite. But when it is mentioned again in the Quran, az-zujajatu ka'annaha kawkabun durriyun yuqad, and then the verse of the Quran continues. So now we can see over here that zujajatun here, or fi zujajatin, is majroor, it is indefinite. But when it is mentioned in the Quran again, it becomes definite. So the same idea that we discussed over here, the same idea that we discussed in English, and the same idea that you can see from the verse of the Quran. Now, inshallah, if you read it again, it's just like lesson number 6, and I'm sure that you are able to understand 95% of the verse of the Quran. Apart from the meaning, maybe you don't know the meaning of all of them, but now you can see over here that Allahu Ismul Jalala is subject. First of all, it's a nominal sentence. Why is it a nominal sentence? Because it starts with a noun, right? And then Allahu is subject. And then we have predicate Nurus Samawati wal Ard. Okay. Nurus Samawati wal Ard. What kind of construction is this? It is, as you can see, that the noun is light. It does not have al, it does not have tanween. And the noun that follows it is majroor, as we can see over here. So that means it is mudaf ilayh construction. Excellent. So you're able to figure it out. Now the second part of the verse again, mathala nurihi. Again, mathalu nurihi. Again, we can see that mathalu doesn't have tanween. It doesn't have al. So that means it is mudaf. And how it is confirmed? When the noun that follows it is majroor. So that means it is again mudaf ilayh. Yeah, so it is again mathalu nurihi kamishkatin. Here we can see that it is feminine because it ends with ta marbuta, and also we can see it is majroor. And why it is majroor? Because it can be, a noun can be majroor for two reasons. Number one, when it is mudaf ilayh, and number two, when there is a preposition before it. So ka is a preposition, it means like فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَأَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ, we have learned in the Quran as well. So fiha, fiha, it is jar majroor, and misbahun, we know it's a common, it's an indefinite noun. Then al misbahu fi zujajatin, again we can see that al misbahu is subject, and fi zujajatin, fi is harf jar, and zujajatin is majroor. So this is a combination of jar majroor, as we can see over here. And similarly, we have az-zujajatu is the subject, and ka'annaha. Ka'annaha we haven't learned so far, but next we can see kawkabun and durriyun. Both of them are indefinite nouns. Yeah, here zujajatin is majroor because there is a harf jar before it. There is a preposition before it. So now, alhamdulillah, now you can see over here. Yeah, now you can see over here that you are able to understand the whole verse of the Quran, and this is only lesson number 6. And that's what, inshallah, we are targeting for. But the only thing that you need to focus on is try to memorize the vocab, the meanings as well. Fiha is jar majroor, of course. Whenever you have a preposition, it will be always the combination of jar majroor. So this is preposition, and this is the noun that follows it. So it will be a prepositional phrase, as we can see over here. It will always be jar majroor. هذه بقرة الفلاح. This is the cow of the farmer. Okay, I have a question. Why do I say the cow? Why is it translated as the cow? Why not a cow? هذه بقرة الفلاح. The farmer, yeah, because it is the farmer, and we know that whenever we put an indefinite noun with a definite noun, it also becomes definite. Excellent. Yeah. So this is the cow of the farmer. هذا أنف. So we can see that this is a simple nominal sentence. This is a nose. Wa means and. هذا فم, and this is a mouth. Okay. So this is a nose and this is a mouth. It's not necessary to translate it as a nose and a mouth. We can also translate it as this is nose and this is mouth, but we want to make things clearer. So that's why we translate it as this is a nose and this is a mouth. Now the next thing that is coming over here, here it says هذه أذن. Now why do we have هذه over here? Here we have هذا and here we have هذا. But here we have هذه. Why is that? Do you remember the reason? It's feminine because it's because udhunun is the body part that is in pairs. Yeah, it's in pairs. Excellent. So that's why هذه udhunun. Excellent. And similarly, we have wow, that means and. هذه عين, and this is an eye. Again, we can see that عين is also in pairs. So that's why it is feminine. Excellent. So this is an ear and this is an eye. Excellent. وهذه يد وهذه رجل. Again, yadun is feminine. Why it is feminine? Because we have two hands, and similarly we have هذه رجل. We have two legs, as we can see over here. So that's why these are in pair. So that's why they are also feminine. So that's why we say that this is a hand and this is a leg. Again, this is in pairs. Perfect. Now, body parts that are in pairs, we have learned like 4 or 5 of them. So inshallah, I will provide you with the list of the body parts that have been used in the Quran, and they are in pairs, so that when we are reciting the Quran, we can relate it to our learning. So these are basically the body parts that are in pairs, and these are the ones that have been used in the Quran. Shafatun, lip, udhunun, ear, yadun, hand. And we know that the dual, if you focus on the dual, shafatun will be shafatan, udhunun will be udhunan, yadun will be yadan. Now you should also try to make dual as well, so that we get used to dual and then also to the plural. Qadamun will be qadaman, a foot and then 2 feet. rijlun and rijlan, leg and two legs, and then we have ainun, and then we have eye, and we have ainan, that means two eyes. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, alam naj'al lahu aynayn wa lisanan wa shafatain. So you see in the Quran, subhanallah, alam naj'al lahu aynayn. So aynayn means two eyes. Wa lisan is one, the tongue, and shafatain is two lips. So now we can see over here, if you focus on the examples of the Quran, inshallah, it will be easier for us to understand. Saqun, shin, khaddun, cheek, mirfaqun, elbow, ka'bun, ankle, aqibun, heel, and mankibun, shoulder. So please now try to memorize them, and these are the ones that have been used in the Quran, and they are in pairs. So whenever they are used in the Quran, they are used as feminine because they are in pairs. Also, as we discussed about qidrun, as we know that qidrun is a cooking pot and it is feminine, so it is singular, and this is feminine. And similarly, the plural is qudurun, and it is used in the Quran. Qudurun fi surati Saba'in is used over there. So cooking pots, as we can see over here. So whether it is used as singular or plural, it will be feminine. And this is what category we are talking about. Miscellaneous nouns used as feminine in the Quran. So these are the nouns that they don't belong to any category. Like we have discussed 3 categories so far. They don't have any female counterpart. They don't necessarily have ta marbuta, and they don't come in pairs. And there are some other, inshallah, categories that we will add, but as of now, we have learned 3 and they don't belong to any of them. So we have to memorize these, as all of them have occurred in the Quran, and they are also feminine. Ardun, earth is feminine. Shamsun, sun is feminine. Nafsun, self is feminine. Khamrun, wine is feminine. Sabilun, path is feminine. Qidrun, that we have learned today, cooking pot, is also feminine. Bi'run, well, also feminine. Darun, house, is also feminine. Narun is feminine. Asa, that means stick or staff, is also feminine. Ka'sun is cup, which is also feminine. And qudurun is the plural of qidrun. This is also feminine. Okay, sure, inshallah. Okay, so here we have all of them, as we can see over here. So if you are able to memorize these 2 lists, which I've provided you, one is about the pairs and one about the nouns that are used in the Quran as feminine, inshallah, your understanding of the Quran will be enhanced to a great extent. So the only thing that you need to do is maybe you can take a picture, you can write them down, and just go through every day until you memorize them. And we have to memorize them, inshallah. And now whenever you see them, for example, in the Quran, we have ardullahi wasi'atun. So ardullahi wasi'atun, why? Because ard is feminine. Similarly, shamsun, nafsun, all of them are feminine, and inshallah, I'm sure you can memorize them. Iqra, waktub, waktub, read and write. So here the ending is sakin, so we will read it as iqra, and this one is also the ending is sakin, it is waktub. And why the ending is sakin? Because these are commands, and in Arabic the command is always sakin. So the only thing that we need to know over here, that whenever we make a command, fi'l al-amr, we are not introduced to it, but the only thing that we need to know, that the command is always sakin, the ending is always sakin. All right, so here we have hadha masjidun wa hadhihi madrasatun. Hadha masjidun wa hadhihi madrasatun. This is a masjid and this is a school. I have a question. Why do I say hadha masjidun? Can I say hadha masjidan or hadha masjidin? Is it possible to say that? No. Okay. Why not? By default. You're close. Yeah. Okay. The first noun is marfu by default, but that's not the reason. The reason is it is a nominal sentence, and the nominal sentence consists of 2 parts. Very good. Subject and predicate, and subject and predicate are always marfu'. They are always marfu'. Okay. Now we can see that hadha is a fixed noun. It does not have any ending. So hadha we can't see, but masjidun, we can see the ending, that it should take tanween. And why it should take tanween? Because it is predicate. Please remember the real reason. It's not that every noun is marfu by default. Yes, But here it's not, it's marfu not by default, but because it is subject and predicate. And similarly, هذه is marfu and madrasatun is marfu because هذه is subject and madrasatun is predicate. Man هذه, who is this? هذه. And what will be the ending of ukht and Abbas? هذه ukhtu Abbasin. Excellent. This is the sister of Abbas. Why? Because هذه is subject and ukhtu Abbasin is a, as we can see, prepositional phrase. So prepositional phrase is always like mudaf mudaf ilayh. So the first noun will be light and the second noun will always be majroor. Okay, هذا. So what will be the ending of dik? هذا dikun. Okay, so why is it hada dikun? Because it is predicate. Wahadihi dajajatun, and this is a chicken. So we can see over here that this is a rooster and this is a chicken. And we can see that subject and predicate are equal in gender. So hada dikun is masculine, so that's why the subject is masculine. And the dajajatun is feminine because it has ta marbuta. And similarly, the subject is feminine, it is hadihi. Hadha ibnul mudiri. So we have to read it as Hadha ibnul mudiri. This is the son of the headmaster. Wahadihi bintul mudarrisi. And this is the daughter of the teacher. So now we can see over here that here ibn al mudir. So we have to use Hadha. And when we have bintul mudarrisi, we have to use Hadihi, as we can see over here. Hadihi. Okay, how will I read it? Hadihi. This is, I want to say, this is the mother of Yasir. So I will say, Hadihi ummu Yasirin. Hadihi ummu Yasirin. This is the mother of Yasir. Why? Because this is mudaf mudaf ilayh. Mother of Yasir. Okay. Yeah, so we will say ummu Yasirin. Excellent. Aina qidrul lahmi. Aina qidrul lahmi. Where is the pot or the cooking pot for the meat? Here fi thallajati, it is in the fridge, as we can see over here. Thallaja is a fridge, as we can see over here. It is in the fridge or refrigerator as well sometimes. Hadha babun, this is a door. Wahadihi nafidatun, and this is a window. So now we can see over here babun is masculine, that's why we have hadha, and nafidatun is feminine, that's why we have hadihi over here. Ma hadha. Okay, now you have to tell me. What is this? Okay, tamarinu exercises. I want to ask a quick question. Why do we have tamarinu? Why it is tamarinu? Why not tamarinun? Quickly. Why not tamarinun? Why there is no tanween over here? Is this a mistake? Of course not. Is this mudaf? Of course not. Then why there is no tanween? Because it is mamnu min as-sarf. It is partially flexible. Broken plural doesn't mean that a broken plural cannot take tanween. Kutubun takes tanween. Similarly, if you have any broken plural, like they have to take like the tanween, because it is on the pattern of mafa'ilu. I gave you 3 patterns. Okay, excellent. So you have to remember the patterns as well. So this pattern is very common. It's used a lot in the Quran as well. Mafa'ilu. So a word that comes on the pattern of mafa'ilu, like tamarinu, it will be mamnu min as-sarf. Okay. Ma hadha, the first one. What is this? Hadha, the first one. Hadha qalamun. Okay. The second one, you need to be careful. Mil'aqatun. Hadha mil'aqatun or hadihi mil'aqatun. The second one. Hadihi mil'aqatun. Excellent. Because we know that mil'aqatun is feminine. So then we have a book, kitab. So we have to say hadha kitabun. Okay. And then we have the shirt, qamis. So we will say hadha qamisun. Excellent. Okay. So since we have ma hadha over here, and we know that ma is used for ghayru aqil, so that's mean the noun will be feminine for 2 reasons. And what are the 2 reasons why the noun will be feminine in this exercise? Either it ends with ta marbuta, or it is a body part that is in pairs, and there might be exception as well. So the baytun, what about baytun? Hadha baytun or hadihi baytun? Yeah, excellent. Yeah, so we say hadha baytun. Perfect. This is a house. Sa'atun. So what should I say? Hadha sa'atun or hadihi sa'atun? Hadihi. Excellent. Sa'atun. Sayyaratun. Car. So what should I say? Hadha sayyaratun or hadihi sayyaratun? هذه. Why should I say هذه سيارة? Because subject and predicate are equal in gender. And then we have babun. So هذا babun. This is a door. Excellent. Okay, what about this one? Famun. Famun means mouth. So we will say هذا famun. Excellent. Next is قدر. So what should I say? هذا قدر أو هذه قدر? هذه. Okay. Why do we say هذه قدر? Do you remember the reason? It belongs to the category where the Arabs, they called it as feminine. So I gave you the category where it is used as feminine. So some nouns, there is no specific reason, but they are used as feminine because, yes, because the Arabs, they used it as feminine. What about yadun? هذا yadun or هذه yadun? هذه yadun, because yadun is in pair, so that's why it's feminine. Similarly, we have nose, anfun. So what should I say? هذا أنف, because أنف is not a pair, so that's why it will be هذا أنف. مكوات, we have the iron over here. So what should I say? هذه مكوات. Excellent. And then we have chair over here, كرسي. So what should we say? هذا كرسي or هذه كرسي? هذا كرسي. Excellent. This is a chair. Okay. We are almost there. ثلاجة. ثلاجة, as we can see that it's also feminine. So what should I say? هذه ثلاجة. Excellent. This is a fridge. Then we have مفتاح, key. So what should I say? هذا مفتاح أو هذه مفتاح? هذا مفتاح. Excellent. And then we have مسجد. So what should I say? هذا مسجد, right? Because masjid is also masculine. And then we have نجم. نجم is a star. So we will say هذا نجم. Excellent. Perfect. So Alhamdulillah, again, today we have learned some new ideas, and we have learned the nouns, like the nouns that have been used in the Quran as pairs, and also we have learned the nouns that have been used as miscellaneous nouns in the Quran. And similarly, we have learned like why a noun can be like ma'rifa, why it can be definite. There should be a reason. And today we have seen that if we have a noun, if it is indefinite, but when we mention it again for the second time, then it becomes definite, right? For example, I have a pen and the pen is blue. Similarly, you say لدي سيارة, I have a car, and then you say السيارة جميلة, the car is beautiful. So Alhamdulillah, we are done with the lesson today. Inshallah, we will make sure that we go slowly but surely. Our target is to be able to understand the Quran and not to complete these books. Of course, we will complete these books, but we don't have to only focus on completing the books. We have to make sure that whatever we are learning, we are implementing it in the Quran as well. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.